Hi, it's Leslie Meredith from Breakbulk Events and Media. I'm here in Rotterdam at Breakbulk Europe. We are here with Dr. Pablo Rodas-Martini, an economist who's just opened our main stage conference. Welcome, Pablo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate this interview.
It's wonderful to have you with us, and we had a crowded theater to hear what you had to say. You talked about energy, dry corridors, covered a lot of ground. Give us some of your high points from your talk.
Yes, first, the first side of the talk was about the economy, the world economy and the European economy. And then I commented on the main latest indicators on these two, on this in the global and the European. I compared, for instance, why the US grew faster during 2023 versus Europe, that it was a very weak growth. And then I moved to key sectors, key industries for the breakbulk industry. And I talk about hydrogen, I talk about offshore wind, I talk about new mining for the green industry, I talk also about mega infrastructure projects, and then I also talk about geopolitics. And I talk about the Panama Canal, that is not geopolitics, but it's more kind of a climate issue and how it's affecting the coral transit of ships. And I just said a few things because I didn't have time enough about the Red Sea geopolitics. Because I have been writing many articles on my LinkedIn page about the situation, the geopolitics at the Red Sea. This was a kind of a summary of my talk.
Right. It seems as every time we think that we're gaining sort of a new level of stability, there's a new level of volatility. Volatility enters the marketplace, and I think we've certainly seen that in the last couple of years.
Yes, no, definitely. Before we were used to, let's say, the normal maritime events, like the Everground in the Suez Canal. That it was huge, this disruption, but it was kind of a normal, or the kind of the collision of the Dali ship in the bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. It's a kind of normal. Of course, they are very sad because sometimes people die, and but each time it seems that we have more and more kind of weird events. And geopolitics has been always around there, but for instance, this issue of the attacks by the Houthis to ships, it has never happened in the Red Sea. And it's kind of unique. This is kind of affecting Egypt very strongly because the revenues have fallen for Egypt, and all the ships have had to go through the southern tip of Africa with much longer times, much CO2 emissions. But of course, it's good for the breakbulk sector because more assets are needed at sea. I mean, it's kind of a paradoxical. And the other is Panama. I mean, there have always been droughts sometimes, but this is the worst drought since the construction of the Panama Canal. And then, because of climate change and because of different risks, El Niño mainly, and then what is going to happen? I mean, some are even talking about the Panama Canal is going to be dead. I explained today why not. And two numbers, for instance, two facts are very important. One is that the US is about 70% of the traffic that pass through the Panama Canal are destined to the US or come from the US. 70%, therefore the US is very important. And the second largest customer of the canal is China. Then will these two countries allow that the Panama Canal is going to be closed? No, of course. And have being analyzed different options by the Panama authorities of the canal. And one of these is Cloud City, that is taking place already in several countries with regular policies. The Emirates, United Arab Emirates, for instance, they have regular policy of Cloud City. And some people even said that the flooding in Dubai was due to Cloud City, which weather experts said that is false. They demonstrated why it's not true. And the problem with Panama is that to go through the tip of South America is not feasible because it's not like to go through the tip of Africa. what happened is that South America tip is 20 degrees latitude southern than Africa, and then it doesn't make sense for most of the cargo from Asia to the east coast of the U.S. It doesn't make sense. It's too long. And the Panama Canal is going to, I'm convinced it will kind of recover. By the way, I'm not from Panama, and I'm from Latin America, but I'm not from Panama. And well, these were some issues I was talking. I enjoyed really the presentation.
Right, right. One last question for you. I know you consult with a lot of companies around the world. How have CEOs and others in companies, how have they adapted to this market volatility? What has had to change in their mindsets to be able to keep moving forward and perhaps find not only a way to adapt, but a way to take advantage of perhaps opportunities?
Yes, I would say that is to have good advisors like me. Because I advise some companies. But no, more in a more serious way, I would say is they need to be ready that the world is very volatile. For instance, the Russian invasion of Ukraine is affecting Ukraine, of course, and brings geopolitical tension to mainly to the three Baltic states and Poland. Three Baltic states because they were former Soviet Union, and Poland because for centuries has had a very difficult relation with Russia. But for instance, there is kind of in the news there is all the time mentions about what is happening in Ukraine more than in the Western countries. But now the Breakbulk industry and many other sectors are taking place through Poland. And because the traffic through the Black Sea directly to Ukraine is kind of difficult, then it's an opportunity. It's sad that it's because of the war, but it's an opportunity. And then you need to, like a CEO, you need to be ready to see phenomena, not necessarily as bad. The Suez Canal issue, for instance, many will say, oh, it's horrendous. But as I said, for the Breakbulk sector, for container ships, for all type of bulkers, tankers, and so on, really it's an opportunity. It's bad for the world because they need to pay, mainly for European consumers, they need to pay more. It's bad for the environment because more CO2 emission, but it's true that it's good for the shipping industry because more assets are needed at sea. Then when you see a bad news, you need to think, it's really bad? I mean, it's really going to affect me? Because what you will see in the news is very bad. It's terrible. But you can see the opportunities. You can grasp the opportunities there.
Right, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Lance. Thank you very much.
So tell me, you've just been here for a little while. What do you think of Breakbulk Europe?
Oh, no, it's an amazing. I was very surprised when I was invited because it's the largest Breakbulk event in the world, Breakbulk Europe. Of course, you have also for Asia and for the US. And there are others kind of similar events. But this is if you are in the Breakbulk industry or project cargo, we need to be here. You cannot miss Breakbulk Europe. And then to be as a speaker here, it was really a pleasure to be here.
Well, wonderful. Well, we hope you enjoy the rest of your time here, and it was wonderful to meet you.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you so much.